What's up, everybody? It's AJ, and we're back with another reaction. Let's hit play.
Top story of the day. What if I told you that a cop decided to handcuff a black teen, on his own porch? The teen was completely innocent. Here's the video.
Put your hands up. Keep your hands up.
I didn't do nothing. I'm a kid.
I don't give a shit.
I didn't do nothing.
Match in the description.
Hold on, I ain't do nothing.
All right, we'll figure that out. Just give us a
Hold
second. All right?
on. I ain't do nothing.
You know, my dad talks about something when he was younger. He talks about how the police in his area, there were two things. Most of the time, they look like the people in the area, and the second thing is most of the time they lived in the area, which is not what we have going on right now. Because if you lived in the area, matching the description would not be enough most of the time. Because you know the people in the area. So when they said that you who's watching this video who doesn't commit a crime did some heinous crime, they wouldn't run up on you with their guns drawn. Because they know you. Not to say they wouldn't do their due diligence or do any of those things, but they knew the people in the community. So they didn't have to treat the people in the community like complete strangers because they were not. Their kids played with their kids. They hung out in the same areas, had local events in the neighborhoods. So that's one of the biggest problems right now. That's why we have this going on. This young man on his porch, guns drawn, being swore at by public officials who are supposed to be there to protect him.
It's a damn shame. Put up the picture full mass. We have a hell of a story. I'm taking you to a place called Canton, Ohio. In Ohio, a Canton police officer's interaction with a minor is now under review after a video circulating on social media shows the youth being handcuffed on a porch while protesting his innocence. The video shows the youth on his knees with his hands in the air. Quote, "I didn't do nothing. I'm a kid," end quote. The child tells the police as they approach to arrest him. Quote, officer says, "I don't give a shit," end quote. The officer wearing a police vest, orange shirt.
Disgusting. And if his kids was treated like this, I would also think it was disgusting, but he would be outraged. He wouldn't like if men came to his house and did this to his kids or his wife or his family or the people he cared about, but he sees it fit and okay to do it to people in a community that he more than likely doesn't live in.
And khaki pants responds telling the child he matched a description. We have heard that plenty of times. So now let's go to the police spokesperson. Lieutenant Dennis Guerin said the officers, quote, quickly determined the juvenile was not involved, unsecured him, and continued their search, end quote. According to a social media post regarding the incident, the child's mother said her son is 14 years old and was walking out of the house when the officers approached him. The mother declined to discuss the incident with a repository reporter who stopped by her home on the morning of August 18th, saying she must first talk with attorneys. Put up the picture again, Jordan.
You definitely should talk with attorneys. You definitely should talk with attorneys. Because this young boy didn't deserve to be treated that way by the people that are supposed to protect him. And they have a hard job to do, but they need to do a better job at their job. There's not a lot of other jobs where you could just screw up like this and everything's okay. Everything's honky-dory, as they like to say.
If you were walking out of your home as an adult and you see police, or you see what looks to be really just men with guns, okay, approaching you, handcuffing you, you would be traumatized. Imagine what's going through a 14-year-old child's mind at his own home, his domicile, the place of safety. Imagine that. Canton police released a statement on Tuesday addressing the incident, which occurred during a search of multiple individuals involved in a series of recent thefts of Kia and Hyundai vehicles. Officer
So they thought he was a Kia boy. Because he, I hate to say it like this, because he was black and in the neighborhood, he had to be a Kia boy.
are looking for Kenneth Moore Jr., 18, who had felony warrants and was suspected of being armed, police said. There's another statement. Canton Police Chief John Gabbard. Chief Gabbard said in a statement that the officers' actions are under review. Quote, I expect my officers to communicate professionally and respectfully, and our actions should always be guided by our values and our training, Chief Gabbard said. Another quote, it was never our intention to subject innocent bystanders to custody or involve the general public unnecessarily in police operations. Chief Gabbard continued or cautioned against judging the incident based solely on the video clip. Quote, this short video clip is currently being shared and commented on without consideration of all the facts the officers had at the time. End quote, he said. Quote, I will not comment about this situation specifically, but I.
Okay, so we're supposed to consider the adult and not the child. That's what we're supposed to do in this situation right here. But once again, if it was the other way around and it was the chief's child, oh, whoa, my child is traumatized, X, Y, and Z. They can't go outside. Every time a police officer drives around, they're nervous. They're a shell of the person they used to be. They started in close. Then it would matter. But now, since it's this little black boy, we should think about the professional adults who are being paid to be there to protect him and what was going on in their head. What about the little boy who doesn't feel protected now? Or what if no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say the other part. What about the little boy who has these issues now? What kind of issues did you create in his life now?
Will recognize.
And not only his life, his mother's life, his father's life, the people that love him. What about the stress that you just put on their whole entire family, their friends, and their community? That affects the whole community. If I seen some little kid getting arrested over here where I live, now my kids need to move a little more different. They already had to move different, make sure they're staying out of trouble. But now even staying out of trouble doesn't even matter now because they'll come up, pull the guns, and they'll cuss you out, talk to you like you're a grown man and some criminal.
The unfortunate truth that juveniles are increasingly involved in gun violence and our officers frequently encounter kids who are armed. We cannot dismiss an officer's safety concerns simply because he or she is contacting a juvenile. End quote. The officer's employment status during the review was not immediately clear. We'll bring you updates if there's an update to bring. Let me remind everyone, none of these statements speak to the elephant in the room. Why are you arresting a kid coming out of his home? If you are conducting an investigation, that means that you should have enough investigative knowledge as to who resides in said home. Unless you're not conducting an investigation and you're simply going after anyone who, I don't know, matches the description, even if they happen to be a resident of that home and a 14-year-old child. You can call dispatch and get the information on the house. It's a damn shame. No.
Well, you can't call dispatch and get the information on the house if you've already deemed them guilty. Because why would you? You know, I think you made a lot of valid points. I agree with you. It's disgusting. A terrible job done. I don't have any other words for it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, leave a like, and send it to your cousin.